Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Hey, is Usyk and Wilder, are they in negotiations? Is that fight heading over to Saudi? Well, if you listen to Big John Fury, if you listen to some of these content creators, and you go off what the people on Twitter are saying, Wilder and Usyk are deep into negotiations for a fight in Saudi Arabia. But I'm going to tell you right now, I think if Tyson Fury keeps meddling around and he and Usyk can't make the deal, then I definitely believe Wilder and Usyk will get together and make a fight. Because, to be quite honest with you, the biggest fight for Usyk outside of Fury, money-wise, Deontay Wilder. Because we already know what happened between him and AJ. But I just got to be honest with you, and I'm not going to sit here and try to push a false narrative. This right here is a quote from Krasiuk, who's the promoter for a manager for Alexander Usyk. And he says, look, there's always a chance, but we never conducted any kind of negotiations with Wilder. And why should Usyk relinquish his WBA belt? What would be the reason? Just to avoid fighting Dubois? No, this is not the way. Usyk wants the undisputed. That's our main priority. It may take us some time and some activity in the ring, which means, you're going to have to face some mandatories, but it's still the main thing we go for. So just understanding the desires of Usyk and his team, that should let everybody know that Deontay Wilder and Usyk, that's not the next fight. Now, as far as what comes after Usyk gets in the ring with Daniel Dubois and beats Daniel Dubois, because he's going to beat him, okay? Let's not take it to the stupid here. Don't get me wrong, this is fighting. The best fighter doesn't always win the fight. It's the boxer who fights the best on that night. But Daniel Dubois doesn't have a best fight in him to top Usyk. I don't care what happens. I just don't see it. This isn't Tyson Buster Douglas, all right? So let's hold our horses for those of you who are thinking there's a possibility. I mean, I don't think so, all right? But for those of you who are like, hey, why are we talking about Daniel Dubois? I mean, we've talked about it before, but look, he's the WBA regular title holder and the first mandatory in line to get a shot at the Ukrainian Alexander Usyk. But this whole thing about Dubois, it may not be a done deal because, he injured his knee in his last fight against Kevin Lerena in December. It's April. They fight maybe July. That's enough time for Dubois to get himself together. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't get medically cleared, and this is why Usyk and his team are saying, hey, look, he's our mandatory, we'll fight him, but we need some kind of proof, some kind of documentation from an independent medical expert that Dubois is fit to fight. So Usyk and his team, they're not playing around. They're serious about moving forward with a fight, even if it's not with Dubois. This is the situation. Joyce is tied up. Hrgovic's in the breeze. Hrgovic can be just waiting in the shadows. Like Dubois can't fight because of whatever happened with his knee, not medically cleared. There's no independent medical evidence saying he's good to go. I'm ready. And that's Eddie Hearn's guy. You know Eddie Hearn's going to push Hrgovic. But if for some reason Hrgovic gets caught up and is bound to fight somebody else and contractually obligated to fight someone else, then Usyk's got to do something. And the one person right now who's available is Deontay Wilder. Don't get me wrong, in the next 3 months, I'm fully expecting for Wilder to return to the ring against somebody. At this point in time, don't know who it is, because it looks like Ngannou sorted his stuff out to do some bare knuckle fight. Looks like, it was Ngannou, Andy Ruiz, who knows what's going on there. But, AJ's not fighting him. I mean, look, the reality of it is Wilder's available, but who the hell would Wilder come back against? Yeah, I don't know who the hell Wilder will come back against at this point. If it's not Ruiz, I don't know who it is. Not Ngannou, because Ngannou has something going on. But I tell you what, Wilder is sitting there just waiting to get the news that it's a green light for Usyk. Now, I'm going to, the more we talk about it, the more I'm going to say this. As much as I would like to see Wilder and Usyk fight, right? When you sit back and you think about it, Usyk and his team, they're intelligent people. If Usyk's desire is to, no kidding, fight a mandatory and Danny Dubois, and then in July, why would Usyk and his team want to go in the ring against a guy like Deontay Wilder? It makes no sense. People still don't want to give Wilder credit. I just did a video on Deontay Wilder. There's a couple of people, I saw the comments laughing. Like, no one wants to give Wilder any credit. I don't understand. But as far as having any skill, I mean, they're just like, all he has is a right hand. I guess they see what they want to see. But I just can't see Usyk and his team sitting down at this point now and saying, all right, we have the mandatory and Dubois, he wouldn't take step aside money. But why would they go into probably a fight that's more dangerous for him than fighting Fury? Because at least, hold off of the Wilder fight and get your shot at Fury for undisputed. If you lose, then whatever, then fight Wilder. But don't go now and fight Wilder if your desire is really to fight for undisputed, because every man Wilder's face, he's knocked out. Whether it's ref stopped the fight, knocked him out cold, it doesn't matter. Knock KO, TKO, it's a knockout. Usyk, just can't see him being any different. Okay? Usyk gets hit. Usyk gets hit a lot. He has great defense, don't get me wrong. Great angles, great offense. Outside mid-range, close, in close, go to fighting in close, going to mid-range, in close, and going lateral, and moving all the way back out again. I mean, he's like he's like an alien, man. The stuff that he's able to do and he does, I mean, it's just watching that's amazing. But you just can't make me believe that he'd want to go risk getting knocked out or losing to Deontay Wilder. Nah, not right now when so much on the line. Now, for those of you who want to know, my understanding from listening to a couple interviews, right, and listening to what was it, Bob Arum? I think it was Bob Arum. I don't think it was Bob Arum who said it. But nonetheless, what was said by someone who would know, it wasn't Frank Warren, I think it was Bob Arum, right, is that the money, right, because the Saudis are now offering money for Fury and Usyk, right? So at some point they offered them. And it may have been after Tyson Fury went over and asked for the $200 million, right? I guess they must have come back and said, hey, look, this is the kind of money we'll give you guys. And my understanding is the kind of money the Saudis are offering to have that fight over there in their country. They said it's ridiculous compared to the kind of money Fury and Usyk would make had they fought at Wembley over in the UK. It's like, it's less than a sliver. So that tells me that there's some real money on the table over there in Saudi. And that kind of helps. If there's truth, you got to take this stuff with a grain of salt. These guys will say anything to the media. But let's say it's true. I think that gives Fury an outlet, to say, well, yeah, I just chose not to go forward with the fight because we knew the kind of money that was on the table. I do think he knew there was big money there, but I don't think the Saudis have made that offer yet. I think that happened recently, where the Saudis came and was like, look, X, Y, and Z with the money. I know they already knew about the stadium that was being constructed, so that wasn't a secret. But the fact that now everyone seems to be really excited about the amount of money the Saudis are actually throwing at those guys. So when you take all that into consideration, right, why would Usyk want to go and voluntarily fight someone like Deontay Wilder when he does not have to? He's just not going to do it. But he's a man of principles, right? He has standards. Okay, there's more to Alexander Usyk than just a guy who comes in, but people think he has a weird hairstyle and likes to say, if you ask him how he's doing, to say I am feel. There's more to him and his fun personality. Usyk's not going to go for too much of the bull crap, you know. He'll draw a line in the sand with no problem. So I could see him saying he's tired of dealing with Fury after he gets past the ball and just fighting Wilder. Kind of like what Wilder and Fury teamed up against AJ. Like AJ and Eddie Hearn want to play the ass when it comes to negotiations and purses and all that. So they did what they had to do. But I could see that happening here, where Wilder again teams up with somebody against the one person who wants to play games. But nonetheless, that's the latest and greatest. And what I'm telling you right now actually came from Krasiak's mouth. There's at this point in time, there's no negotiations with Wilder. But their thing is to try to get to that undisputed bout. But it depends on what goes on after Dubois and with Tyson Fury. Then you got to look, the only viable opponent for a guy like Usyk, if Fury doesn't want to cooperate. Because like I said, I still think there's a lot of other things going on with Fury that could preclude him from fighting. But the only viable option really is Deontay Wilder. And I just think that would be a really good fight. And we'd have to see who wins. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Usyk and Wilder and Saudi could be coming. Just don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. That being said, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.